Hey, it's ItsAMansWorldFTM1. This is Kai for topic 40, past self. The questions for this week are: who were you in a past life? How do you talk about yourself or your past to others? Do you just ignore them, etc.? It's a bit complicated. Depending on who I'm talking to, I sometimes refer to myself as when I was a child or when I was younger, which has no gender implications whatsoever. I was a little girl at one point, but a lot of the things that happened to me were genderless. So it depends on the story. If the story has a relevance to my gender, then I mention it. Otherwise I don't, because it's still my past experience, but it has nothing to do with my gender. It just doesn't seem to really be important what gender I was when I was younger. The stories still happen, they're still part of my life, but what gender I represented at the time is unimportant to the experience. I don't pretend that I didn't have a feminine childhood, and if people ask me about it, I talk about it, but just on a day-to-day basis, it's genderless. When I was younger, when I was a child, when I was a teenager, those are genderless. So I'm able to tell the stories, when I was 20 I did this, when I was 25 I did this, my siblings did this, but it's not really about what gender I was. That's not relevant to the overall gist of my experience. My sister and I had a conversation recently where she professed being very sad that I was trying to erase my past. And she and I were very close for a long time, and most of our experiences are shared experiences. So she was worried that I was erasing my past because I no longer wanted to be female. But I explained to her that the past still happened to me and it's still meaningful and those memories are still valued. And her part in those experiences is still valued. I'm not erasing my past. I'm just erasing the pronouns. But for her, I was her sister. And she had two brothers who were around and me. And our elder sister was out of the house very young. So she just doesn't want to lose her sister. But for me, it's just most of the experiences are mostly irrelevant to gender. Girls didn't want to play with me. Boys bullied me. It's hard to say I wasn't a girl when I went to an all-girl Catholic school. But I don't talk about that very much. So I'll admit that I used to be a girl. Or I pretended to be a girl. Like I'll say, when I was pretending to be a girl, I'll say that. But the gender is not really relevant. I mean, most of my stories can be told in a gender-neutral way or in the first person where gender doesn't matter. And the stories are still true. Maybe people will wonder about some of the details because they won't make sense if I was a boy, but next week's topics is going to be about tea myths, and I haven't started tea yet. I have my appointment on the 9th, which is the following Monday. So I won't really have very much to talk about when it comes to tea myths. So I'm not sure what to do with that video. Maybe I'll postpone that a little bit and talk about something else and then come back to that once I'm on tea. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's been a crazy week. I hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. I hope no one participated in Black Friday by going to a mall. America! Anyway, thanks you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you next week for something. Guy out.